Welcome to another episode of Top Ceiling, where the ceiling is at the top. I'm your host, Wendy, and we are still at the Watchmen on the Wall studios. And I'm joined in studio now by the set designer, Henry Fisher. If you have not watched the previous episode, please do yourself a favor, because none of this will make sense. Henry, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Wendy, thank you.
No, thank you.
And Wendy, honestly, thank you.
Okay. Right, Henry, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do for Watchmen on the Wall.
I thank you for having me on the show. I make pictures, or I create what people see as imagery. What is not tangible, I have to make the physical thing. So it's been from exploding teacups to Johannesburg rain inside of Cape Town studios.
Oh, wow.
I've been blessed with lots of challenges, many challenges. Yeah.
I think I've never heard that being said before. I've been blessed with many challenges. I find that it's a nice contradiction. What do you mean by that?
Thanks. Well, for 12 years I worked in television and film, doing shows like Madam and Eve, Fishy Fashions, one of my favorites, SOS. And after 12 years, I was still doing the struggling artist thing. And it was also getting a bit, it was repetitive. It was a little sad because we weren't doing anything but entertainment. I wanted something where it had more meaning for me and for viewers out there. So after 12 years, I prayed to God. I said, you gave me all these gifts. Thank you. But now how about giving me a space where I can work and exercise all of them and still feel like I'm contributing. God listened and very fast, very quick he responded. 2 weeks after these prayers had become a routine, Lord help me. He helped me, and a friend, Pastor Errol Naidu of 20 years ago, phones me out of the blue and offers me an opportunity to build a set.
Wow.
He says to me, can you? And I hear myself going, yes, okay. So we go in and I build the first set. And I think as our relationship developed, while I was building that, he started seeing little other possibilities, you know, I was also trying to affiliate with someone or some company, somebody that was a little bit less secular. Yeah. You know? So the show itself developed, I developed with it. We needed bigger studios. We were blessed with these spaces. Challenges like green screens, like the one behind us.
Which is actually a building for you. There are buildings out here. Yeah. Have you always been a set designer though? Because you've been in the industry for 12 years. Are there any other things that you've been involved with? Or did you know from the get-go that this is your talent, this is your gift, I'm going to be a set designer? Or did you try certain things?
I had no idea. When I was born in Manenberg. I lived there till the age of 15. So anything artistic in boys was discouraged. I remember doing a sketch one day and my mom saying, oh, this is stunning, and my dad saying, oh, I hope he's not going to become a hairdresser. With a whole sensitive thing. But we were limited, you know, even though we had every color of the spectrum living in Manenberg. When you looked at it, the overview was a pretty gray place. Nothing exceptional. The mountain was so far away, and all the entertainment was in our imaginations. This was actually before television, so ancient. I was born, and then the wheel was invented, and so that's how long I've been in.
So there's a huge generation gap here.
Yes.
Like there are years in between us right now.
Definitely.
What's your passion? What is that thing that keeps you here? That keeps you in this industry over and over again, finding your niche?
It's a very good question. I thought that my niche was not in the film industry. I thought that it would be one of those things that I have to chalk down to experience and
those things. That's what we call those other careers, those things.
But now I work for a show. You know, when we are filming people, the stories are so powerful and they've all been touched by God's magnificence so bigly, I almost want to say, but in a huge way, that I am often stunned and grateful to have built the stage for all of this truth to be acted upon. You know, so I enjoy the background. It is the most humbling thing. And I'm grateful for my gifts because when these other people have been through such journeys, some of them, when they talk about how their gifts have worked for them, I cannot help but be grateful.
Yeah.
You know? Yes.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Henry.
My
Are you going to
pleasure.
show us a bit of your work now? Can you just take a walk in your studio?
I'm looking forward to it. It will be my pleasure.
Okay, let's do it.
Thank you.
Let's do it now. So, Henry, what is this behind us right
Most
here?
people think it's a giant fish tank, but what it is a way to capture sound for a radio show that's going to be happening soon.
Okay.
We're about 2 months away from that. We've used it before for voiceover. I had to pad it out inside. So sometimes when we're just feeling at odds, we go in there and we scream and you see veins, but you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
So I'm complimenting myself in saying it's soundproof.
I think I need one of these in my room, actually. Like, I have moments where I just want to, like, ah.
Now I know mummies and children sometimes, they look at with envy. But what we're doing is we're creating a magazine talk show. We're looking at developing one for women. So we'll have a host, we'll have guests in on a number of topics, all relating to us and our relationship with God and the situations that we as modern people find ourselves in, you know. So if you can envision 2 really beautiful couches, that will happen soon. And of course, from the talk show, it's also going to double as part of a music show that we're doing.
Oh, nice.
So we'd have a guest arriving, a musician arriving onto stage. We will interview, and then a little later on, I'll show you what's happening on that side of the stage. Is we'll have a good interview with an incredible musician. Take them across to where we'll have a 5-piece band set up, Jonathan Robain's band. So often we'll have a professional, well-established musician, and then someone who's up and coming, who's just getting
Who's trying to get
into-
their music out there.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. And you're talking about another female host. Are you looking?
We are.
I think I'm available. So you can just hit me up.
Excellent. So there we are. There you are.
So it's been found. I'm the host, basically. Okay, so Henry, we're just gonna take a little tour
Yes.
on your stage because I believe that you made this yourself.
I've been very blessed in my life. Sometimes I didn't know, but God had given me quite a skill set, apparently, according to everyone else.
According to the set, yeah. I think the set agrees.
So until you ask me, I don't know whether I can. So it depends on how much authority you say, build me a stage, I'll hear myself go, yes, no problem, and I'll go there. It's like, all right, what did I just commit to now, you know?
Yeah.
So yes, I do a lot of the physical work myself. From carpentry, general carpentry, all the requests expand, I suppose, my profession.
Yeah.
You know, so every time I hear myself say yes, and I have to do a little bit of investigating, but generally nothing's fallen over on us yet.
What goes into all this, Henry? Like, what goes into set design?
Well, I think initially you have to have the concept. Most of the time, it's another person's idea. So they'll say, can you build a stage? And I'm like, I'm sure I can. What kind of stage? So the description they're giving me will determine the materials and the amount of headache and grey hair.
And tears.
So I always hear myself say yes, and afterwards I go like, why did I do that? Let's investigate. So a lot of the times you can't walk into a hardware store and say, give me a curved piece of wood.
Yeah.
There has to be fashion. Lots of materials that I use on set, the people that use it, mechanics, car mechanics will go, never, that would never work, but we have to MacGyver it in such a way. For example, the effect you have on the stage here, we couldn't decide what kind of look we wanted, so we debated. Eventually I was left on my own with no idea what they were seeing when they looked. So what happened was I used the paint technique. Well, I painted. And then I thought, this is just cream. There's nothing interesting. So I took a few bags of tea, soaked it,
Actual tea.
tea, very strong tea.
Tea
and
goes into design.
and stood outside and wet this. Still not knowing whether it's going to work. So I'd throw it and walk inside, giving it time to dry. So now you've got depth, almost a marble feel.
Wow.
So this, I measured, is 15 meters of me going on my knees, going with a paintbrush.
And tea.
Yes, 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 continuously. And while you're down there, you don't know what it's going
The
to
final
look like.
result.
You have an idea, but when I stepped back, I really was impressed myself. I make like, it's a simple, but it really sometimes
It does not look simple
amazes
at
me.
all. I'm sure that turned you off tea though. Like, didn't that put you off tea?
I drink coffee now.
I wouldn't drink tea after I've used it to paint. I don't think. Yeah. Okay. This is beautiful.
Thank
so what
you.
is this though? What is this used for? I see that
This
it's
is
protruding out of the structure. So.
Yes. No, we elevated this so that the drummer, when he's playing, is not hidden behind all of the musos. And it's quite a compliment because the first thing they do is they test the strength of it. So I had to, this has got a wooden structure that you could possibly use on a boat. It's that secure.
Oh wow.
You know?
How long did it take to do all this?
Well, we were blessed with this premises about 5 months ago. And over the 5 months, I've gone from a curved green screen to this background here. One of the first jobs, the most important, was to turn a warehouse into a studio. So our major battle was with sound. We've got an industrial area outside, so you've got trucks banging, and sometimes people hear
Trucks
it
banging. We've got trucks banging outside the studio.
slamming and whatever they do now. I don't know what trucks do. in
What
this
do
day
trucks
and
do
age.
nowadays? I don't know.
So we had to soften all of this. Once again, there are products, but they are so highly overpriced. It's not easy for just anybody to set up. You have to think outside the box. So polystyrene came to mind. And you know, when you cut polystyrene, you get 100,000 snowflakes.
Those tiny little things.
The entire area was, by the time I shaped what was these angled boards, see, they shaped in a way to push the sound back down. So you don't have sound distorting, escaping or anything. It just nestles it nicely.
And there's no sound going out as well. It's just
That's
like
it.
it's all being condensed
Yes,
inside that.
yes.
That makes sense.
We've put in these lights. These are the ones that are shining down now. But now you'll have to use the imagination because I didn't have all of the screws and nails that make it. But we'll have lights that are illuminating from
the
up
bottom.
to. And then this really good idea. Once again, I must thank Errol for a lot of his input. He gives me creative challenges. And one of the challenges is now to suspend from you, if you will, a curtain of crystal beads. Clear crystal beads. So all of those beads with slight movement will be reflecting all of these lights, so you'll have one big sparkly background for these musicians to perform in front of.
I can't wait
know?
to see the show.
Me
I
too.
really can't wait to see the show, especially after seeing the set. Great
Yes.
job, Henry. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
My
this tour.
pleasure.
Okay, so now we know who to call when we want an actual like live huge studio at Top Ceiling. Thank you so much, Henry. So one thing that I've learned from Henry is to say yes and try things out because you never know what you're capable of. My name is Wendy Gumede and you have been watching Top Ceiling, where the ceiling is at the top. Did you build these chairs?
No, it's the only thing I haven't done. I can try though. I was going to say yes, but now
You should have
save
told
it
me
for-
this before. I wasn't going to say something if it wasn't built by you.
Thank you. Full grip.
Goodbye, Top Ceiling. Hello, Watchmen on the Wall. Me and Henry, the Vincents.
So thank you so much for joining us here at WOW. That didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out.